What is up, guys? Welcome. Welcome, Crypto FUD. And let's jump right into this, guys. Happy Saturday. Good morning, good evening, good night. I know it's early right now. Posting a video. Want to get it going. I have a lot of things going on for today. So just wanted to get the stream going for today. I hope you guys are having a great day. What's going on, Rodney and Gina? Rodney and Gina in the house. Early worms get the early bird. Gets the early worm, something like that, right? Oh, my boy Larry in the house too. What's going on? What's going on, player? Well, let's just jump right into this, guys. So, Bitcoin right now not looking too shabby. Still holding some nice gains from those bottoms that we recently saw in the last week. Right now, sitting at around 60,600. Not looking too bad. Right now, you guys can see as of yesterday. You can see as of yesterday, I believe this was 2 days ago, we had made a local top at around 62,700, right? And you can see that we are kind of trending towards the downside, but we did break out of that trend, but kind of just chopping towards the side, right? Chopping to the right. You can see that we have recently come up and tested the 61.5, 61.6 area just briefly once, getting rejected. So pretty much what I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin going into the weekend right now is going to be probably low volume, less volatility, probably some chopping to the side action, not too much going on is what I'm anticipating for this weekend, right? Obviously, things can change at any minute. What's going on, Troy? NFK to the moon. But anything can change, but as of right now, I'm expecting us to have just probably a very low volatile weekend where today, tomorrow, we really don't see much going on. No crazy spikes, no crazy drops, just pretty much sideways action, indicating low volume in the market for the weekends, right? Like I said, we're still recovering from this bottom that we all saw, in this past week. Bitcoin briefly dropped down to about 49,500. So far that's been the bottom, and you can see we could even draw a trend from that bottom to where we're at right now has been, a nice little move towards the upside, right? We went into the weekend. I'm sure if we were in the weekdays, we'd probably see a continuation of us moving towards the upside. But for right now, like I said, I'm expecting us to probably chop to the side for the next 24 hours, 36 hours, until probably the end of Sunday. Why do I say the end of Sunday? Well, you got to remember the end of Sunday for the States might be the beginning Monday for you, right? Or for people that are across the world. Asian market, you have the UK, Europe waking up, when the States are sleeping on Sunday night. So we'll have to see how it works out as far as that with Monday rolling around. I don't really anticipate much going on for this week. Let's see what we have. PPI. Oh, crap. We have, damn. This shit rolls around so fast. I didn't realize that. We have CPI reports coming out this week. Holy shit. So we have CPI reports coming out this week, coming up on the 14th, which is going to be, the 14th is going to be on Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to have a morning stream for Wednesday with the CPI reports coming out. Let's see. So looking at the core inflation, I always, we look at the inflation year over year, looking at core just because that's what the feds use for an indicator in regards to how they make their decisions. You can see previous was 3.3. Therefore, it's forecast to come down to 3.2. You guys already know. And then inflation rate year over year, previous was 3%, forecast to come down to 2.9%. So with those two being said, core, pinpointing core, if we come down to 3.2 or lower, the markets are probably going to be looking like they're going to want to react positively, right? Same thing for inflation rate year over year. If we come down to that 2.9 like forecast or anything lower, we're probably going to see positive reaction in the markets. I'm not really expecting like this massive move if inflation comes out and it's at like 3%, right? We're forecast to 3.2. Even if we beat expectations and we come down to 3%, I'm honestly not expecting this whirlwind of just like, oh my God, euphoria takes over and the markets start just running up to 80, 90K. I'm not expecting that necessarily, but definitely good because we do have the Fed meeting coming up. And about 4 weeks, let's pull that up actually. I don't know why I don't have that set up for you guys. But let's see here. So if you guys can see, the Fed meeting is actually coming up in over a month. a little over a month, so about 39 days as of today. So we still have some time, but we're waiting. We've been talking about this September, rate cut that's pretty much already sealed, right? I guess what we're talking about, and like I said this last week, is not if they're going to be reducing rates, how much are they going to be reducing rates? That's what it's flipped over to. It's not about if. We know they are, right? We know for a fact they're going to be doing it. And who was calling this for the last 8 months? Honestly, who was calling this for the last at least 6 months? Right here, no FUD was calling that, even though it's not a big thing. But we had multiple meetings coming out. We had a solid 6 to 8 months, and I was like, listen, guys, it's probably going to be on September. And I told you guys the reason why I picked September was because this is going to be the last meeting, FOMC meeting, until we go into the elections, right? The elections are not far away, guys. It's less than 90 days away till the elections. I can't wait till they're over. Freaking election years are just like, they're wonky as hell, right? It's just craziness, with the people and everything that's going on in the world. Freaking the elections, dude. It's like, if we could move the elections like once every 10 years, I think the world would probably be a better place. But that's a whole nother topic we'll get into, right, on another day. But what I'm getting to is, I picked this date, this particular meeting, because of political, right? And you can say, Jerome Powell can say he's not political. They're not. They all have a boss, right? They all have a boss, even though the SEC says that they are their own, department. They don't work for any government. And he will tell you, he mentioned this on his last meeting, that he's seen, since he's been in office, I think he's been with 3 different administrations, right? I understand, and I don't think that he particularly is trying to move the needle at all as far as with the elections. But I don't care what you say. Elections here, there's going to be some decisions being made that are above him, and I think they already were made. But the numbers are pointing out that I don't even think, even if that decision wasn't made where he was maybe forced to do a rate cut during the right before the election, I think it was already, with these numbers, I think he was going to do it, right? Because we've seen nothing but, I think the last 3 CPI reports have been nothing but us meeting the forecast, are actually coming lower, which is good, right? Lower inflation. So with that being said, that whole spiel right there. Jay's in the house. What's going on? Overcome. Donald. Gina said, are we going to have a member stream tomorrow? Yes. Sundays are for members, right? Sundays are for members. We're going to have a good member stream tomorrow for sure. I still owe you guys like an extra stream, I believe. So we'll figure it all out. But to get back to topic, so 51% of the market's calling for some kind of a 0.25 or a 0.5% in interest rate reduction. And then we have 49%. So 51% are saying we're probably going to do that quarter, maybe a half. 49% are saying, bro, did you see what the hell happened last week? We're like on the tipping of a recession. We're most likely going to be doing a half to a 0.75%. I'm leaning towards the 49%. Remember when I was running, I said, or running like the last few months, I've been saying it's going to be a 0.25%. With all the information we have now, everything that's going on, I'm still saying, now I'm changing my stance. I was saying a 0.25%. Now I'm saying they're going to at least probably do it about a 0.5%. But is it really going to do anything, guys? If they reduce it 0.5% right now on interest rates, is it going to change anything in your life? No. It's not going to change anything in your life. It's not going to change anything at the grocery stores. It's not going to... Anybody that's going out to buy a house right now, you're not going to see any kind of difference whatsoever. Long term, yes, as they reduce interest rates, you'll see, for financing, for cars, for mortgages and stuff like that, will start to trickle down. But it's going to be a long-term effect. It's not going to be much, but the markets will react positively. But in my opinion, I really do think that it's going to be nothing too big. I don't think it's going to be really a big market mover, is pretty much my opinion. So let's see here. Bullish said, should I buy more NFK today or wait a few? I mean, that's your call, bro. That is your call right now, dude. Let's see. I'm definitely not throwing out no financial advice, bruh, on that. But, we are technically, we're at a, right now, if you guys can see, for our for no FUD. Let me see here. You guys can see we have this support line right here, right? We did break below briefly, which was a solid buy down here because obviously you'd be up like crazy. Even we saw this big spike from the whale. Shout out to the whale. It's came through and loaded up his bags even more. My dude's pretty much running the project as of now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm running the project. He literally runs the project financially, you know? So, but what's good about with him is that he doesn't have any plans to sell. He wants to see this project thrive. So, I mean, it's good that he holds such a big bag because the liquidity, we already have the liquidity locked, but I mean, his bag is pretty much locked up, and he's just wanting to see the project thrive. So, solid guy right there. So, I mean, nothing but positive right there with that. What I could say is hopefully we can stay at this level at around the 32 and bounce up, right? But you can see we're chopping in this channel that we've been sitting in for we've been in this channel since July, the beginning of July, right? So we've been in this channel for a solid about 6 weeks now where we for the most part, we're holding this support level. We did break below it briefly. We did break, and then we ran up above it, right? This is the support level is at around the 33, pretty much where we're at right now. But we seem to, we can't break above this 57 area right here, right? We got close the other day, but, unfortunately, we saw big buy-ins and then we saw big sell-offs, right? So, but what's funny is the people that were selling off, well, the particular person, I know they're watching, they sold for a loss. So, hold that L, bro. But let's see here. So, I mean, right now, not a bad time, I would say, or anything below this level is a good little buy-in, right? That's been a good spot where if you look historically, buying in under this level right here has been nothing but a positive. But if you're more of a DCA, just like screw the price, I just want to keep accumulating, right now, not a bad time in my opinion, right? So, but doesn't look bad at all. Everything looks good for NFK for sure. Troy said, yep, depression is coming. Store your money in NFK. There we go. Twan said, hey, Crip, have you been looking into RTR on Sol? Got me tempted to buy. What's funny is I have it right here. You see it at the top of my watch list. So the other day I was like, when we looked at this project, we saw that it had crashed like crazy. This thing ran up to like $160 million market cap. And then when we got wind of it, it already was down to like 8 million. It has dropped down even more. Remember, if you guys remember the stream, this was like from 2 days ago. I was like, I'm tempted to honestly throw a little bag into here just to see what's going on. And I'm going to tell you why I'm tempted. I'm going to talk about this here in a second because I have an article in regards to something that I think might be reflecting on this project right here. So stay tuned on that, bro. Stay tuned on that. So let's just jump back to the markets real quick, our opening little monologue that we have. So Bitcoin, like I said, not looking bad. Honestly, I anticipate that we're probably going to chop in to the side right now, right? We're going to chop to the side for this weekend. I don't anticipate much going on for the crypto market for this weekend, right? Which can be a positive thing, right? We don't have to deal with any kind of, let me see something. Is my face kind of blocked off? Let me see something. Let me pull this up. We don't have to deal with any kind of volatility is really what I'm getting to, right? We can, kind of have a calm weekend. We've had some crazy times in the last week or two. So, I mean, I think a lot of people are just kind of like, whew, let's just chill for a little while. We'll see what Monday brings, right? So that's for the market. Let's look at the bubbles for the day, though. Not looking bad at all. Not looking bad. We have pretty much a nice, green screen right here. We do have a little bit of red. Crow down about 1%. ICP down about 1.7%. Chile. What is that? Chile? Yeah, Chile. All right. Haven't heard of that project. But for the most part, everything is pretty much in the green. Sui is up 10%. Look at the week for Sui. Up 45% for Sui. That's not bad. Not bad at all. And then Helium up 30% for the week. Crow actually is up for the week over 10%. It's down slightly today, but it's actually up. Ton's up 7%. This is for the weekly. you guys can see. So you can see, remember when we looked at the weekly 2 days ago when the markets were starting to recover, a lot of these projects were down 30 and 40% still after a recovery, right? Because I don't think we understood how far down these projects actually dropped, during that big drop that we saw, right? I guess they're calling it the recession fear or recession, what was it? The recession drop is what they're calling it. Everybody got terrified. The markets freaking got shook. Japan crashed for like 12 hours. And then the next day, everything just was fine. Everything was good. The market started to retrace. A little questionable, honestly. A little questionable in my opinion, but we'll take it for now. Like I said, I really don't. I'm not going to get into it. If they're propping up the markets or whatever the case is, just use it to your advantage, guys, and let's just make this money. But be ready to reposition yourselves, right? So what I'm saying is like, let's say, in the next few weeks, next few months, Bitcoin starts just running, right? We start running up and we start making new all-time highs. Just be prepared. If you're up like crazy on some of your projects, obviously it's a hard decision for you to part ways or to sell, take profits, and kind of sit on the sidelines. But that's what I'm going to be doing whenever we really start running back up again. You guys know that's what I do every time we run up, and it usually fares out pretty well, right? I don't catch the exact top, but I usually always will. Why am I not? Because I always wait. I'm waiting until it gets in the green. I make that profit. I get the money, right? And then I just wait for another big drop or whatever the case is, I don't let FOMO for missing out on the way up or down, right? It's patience. I've been around for a while to know what these markets normally do, so on each of these swings, I'm usually buying, selling, buying, selling, buying. We just went through it, buying, not selling as of now, right? I'm holding my good positions. You guys know I bought in on a few positions like Ordi. I told you guys that I've been waiting for that for a while. I picked it up at around 20 something dollars, real cheap, lower 20s. So I'm definitely up on Ordi right now. Kind of just waiting to let this thing play out. Another project that I am in on is ALI, which is having a decent day today. It's up about 14%. ALI, I'm technically still down. Not too much now, but I technically am still down because I was buying when we were around this area right here, right? We had dropped down and I started doubling up. Well, when we dropped down to some of these levels, I was like, I really didn't want to, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to just bring my average down. And I just started buying back in, or not buying back in, but adding to my bag, trying to cool off that such a red position that I was in, right? So now that I did that, we bounced, it bounced from this bottom that I did catch. I wish I would have bought a little bit more or a lot more because I probably would be in the green right now. But you can see this thing bounced over 40% from that bottom. So a nice recovery on ALI. This project particularly, I've been telling you guys, and we're going to come back to this real quick, but ALI, the market cap is so small, right? $68 million. And when it dropped down to that one level that we saw, this thing was down to about 59 million. So, very small market cap, trading on a lot of big platforms. It's an AI project, right? So, I think that this has a lot of potential towards the upside. It's just what this project likes to do is it likes to bleed out slowly, and then it goes on a crazy spike, right? Bleeds out and then goes on a spike, and you can go back, and this thing just constantly does this, right? So, even though I am down, like I said, my average is somewhere around this area. We run on another spike, I'm not going to give a shit, if I'm right here or if I'm right here. Obviously, I want to be at the far bottom, maximize my profits, but we run on a nice spike right here. This thing runs up. Remember, market cap's only at $60-70 million. This thing easily can run up to $1 billion in the thick of the bull run. So hold on to a big position of this, bigger than I even anticipated, honestly, because I had to bring my average down on here. So not too bad, not upset about it whatsoever, so. Let's see here. Twan said, I agree with you. I'm definitely taking my profit. If the markets do crash, I'll be happy. At least I took my profit. Japan market crash got me shook. I think a lot of people, it's like that for a lot of people, bro, right? So let's go back to this screen right here. So remember when the Japan market dropped, we were at 31 in the fear, right? Which, if you look at this, right? If you look at 100%, right? 50% being half is in the fear. The other half is in the greed, is how I look at it, right? When we were at 31, That meant that 70% of the market was in fear, selling, thinking the worst. I was thinking the worst, but I was buying, right? I wasn't selling, right? I already had sold off weeks, months before at the top. So I was very fearful, right? When that day that Japan crashed, I was very fearful, bearish, I would say. Not fearful, bearish, but buying, right? I'm not going to sit here and, when we're seeing these massive dips, I don't fall into all that. We're going to zero crap. I'm like, you know what? It could get rough out here, right? I'm buying, and I'll continue to dollar cost average in. And that's what I was doing. But what I'm getting to is we dropped down to about 31. Now we're at 51. So the market is majority in starting to get back into that greed which if you bought the dip not too long ago, a few days ago, now you're up probably in your portfolio, most likely, if you were able to start buying at the time, right? I know a lot of us were just adding to our bags, buying the dip, perfectly fine. The market's looking like they're getting that confidence back to where we could start getting back into that greed and just start ultimately continuing the move towards the upside. So definitely doesn't look bad at all. Very fast bounce. I told you guys when we were in the greed at like 61, and I mean within a freaking day. I've never seen this where we dropped from that fast. We dropped from 61 to 31 as far as fear and greed index. I have never seen, and I'm sure it's happened before, but I've never noticed such a significant drop in literally, it wasn't even a day. It was within 12 hours. Meaning the market went from greed to complete shitting themselves in 12 hours. Like, I'm sure this happened during the FTX debacle and stuff like that, but at the time when the FTX happened, the market was already in fear. We were already in a bear market. That was just like throwing gasoline on top of the fire type shit. So we probably dropped, a nice chunk, but it was not from greed to complete shit in your pants, So that was a big move right there, which indicated, like I was telling you guys, when we were at that time, I told you guys, statistically speaking, historically speaking, when anybody or any investors buy in when the market's at complete fear, usually if you have patience, it plays out and you end up in the green, you end up making profits, right? A lot of big traders solely run off of this. They don't even look at the prices. They solely run off of what's the fear and greed index for the market, right? And that's how they kind of dictate how they're buying and selling. So, Dottie, what's going on, bro? We're about to put a search party out for you, bro. I haven't seen you in like a month or two. Jay said, make sure you guys slap those likes. What are we at right now? Let me just check. Really, guys? That hurt. 11 likes. Let me drink my water. Can you please hit the like for me, bro? Can you do that for me? I really appreciate it. Just slap the like real quick. Let's continue. Sheesh. But yeah, so like I... Oh. Hold on, guys. Hit the minimize on there. But yeah, so like I was saying, I think the market right now is giving us those signs that we could be, getting back into that greed. Hopefully the bullishness continues, right? We don't have any kind of craziness going on in the world. Even like I said, if they're propping no T-Crip. Oh, I got, it's still early, bro. It's only 12 o'clock where I'm at. We have football in the States starting. It started last week, but I have the Tampa Bay Bucks are playing tonight. So at like around 7 my time. So if I start drinking right now, bro, I'll be shit-faced and tired by like 8 o'clock. So I got to like kind of spit. And then I'm going to be by the pool and stuff. So I got to kind of, space it out. And I'll start drinking in like 20 minutes, Responsible. Got to be responsible. So, but no tea. I'm drinking something else. You guys know the Nelk Boys? They have their, what is it called? Happy Dad? I bought some Happy Dad. Shout out to the Nelk Boys, right? Troy said I have 2 devices so I can hit the like twice. Hey, that's my boy right there, right? Don't let YouTube find out about that. They're going to shut me down. They're going to be like, you got bots? This happened actually yesterday. Vladimir Putin signed a law legalizing cryptocurrency mining in Russia. This is kind of pretty bullish, I don't really care about politics. We're not going to get into who the hell, as far as Russia and Ukraine and all that stuff. I'm just solely looking at this, and the fact that you have another big company, a big country that technically they were kind of, against crypto, right? I think a lot of these countries are starting to realize that, wait, crypto is not out to take over our currency, right? You had the states, America was thinking that for a while. That's why you had like people like Trump. They were like, nope, don't like it. Anything that competes with the dollar, I don't want anything to do with it. Now their stances are changing, and you have these countries as well, over there on the other side of the world that are starting to change their stance as well. Given, obviously this country is being sanctioned by, majority of the country, where you can't really do business with them, right? Because of what's going on over there. Like I said, I'm not getting into any of that stuff, but what I'm saying is they're trying to figure out ways to where they can get around the US dollar, and they figured it out, that they can actually trade crypto and do stuff crypto related to get around necessarily sanctions and stuff like that, whether you like it or not, right? So, but this right here, not a bad thing, definitely a good thing as far as them being able to start mining Bitcoin. Hopefully they'll lax their laws, and they'll really start embracing crypto as far as with their residents and stuff like that. Because I think ultimately, just like we've been hearing a lot of these politicians, they want to see Bitcoin particularly, have some kind of fundamental or some kind of backing with the US dollar. I think any country that allocates just even a small percentage of financial backing with their currency, with Bitcoin, I think in the long term is going to do really well, and their currency is going to stay, strong, relatively strong. So, but yeah, definitely a good thing right here. Definitely a positive thing for sure. Let's jump into some articles, and then we can check out some DeFi. So, looks like 12,000 Bitcoin sell, a 12,000 Bitcoin sell order sparks fear of whale manipulation. So a massive 12,000 Bitcoin sell order placed on Binance today ignited concerns about potential whale manipulation, putting Bitcoin's price under intense scrutiny. Now, this was technically from yesterday. And that might be why we saw some kind of a we did. We saw, if you zoom in on the charts as of yesterday, we were seeing a downward trend, right? But we have broken out of that trend, but really just chopping to the side. But I would imagine that this was probably fueling that downward trend as of yesterday. So let's see here. So this scrutiny follows Bitcoin's price surge earlier today, which was yesterday, which saw the cryptocurrency peak at 62,500 before encountering strong resistance and dropping 3% against its daily opening value. Market analysts point to a possible link between the resistance above 62,000 and a significant sell order. Monitoring resource CoinGlass, reporting on X, identified this substantial order of 12,000 Bitcoins placed between 61,200 and 62,500. So the suspicious sell order, interpreted as a potential red flag for market manipulation, has fueled fears of whale manipulation. This practice, often called spoofing, involves large volume traders placing a series of orders above or below the current price. These orders intend to artificially move the market in a desired direction. So let me put a pause here. So the order didn't go through, right? The order didn't go through, but what they did was they put in a buy order. Just like you can go on crypto.com, and let's say you want to put a buy order for when Bitcoin gets to a certain price. If you think that Bitcoin's going to 61K, you can put a buy order and say, when Bitcoin hits 61,000, I want to buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? But if it doesn't go to that, the order doesn't go through, or you can always cancel your order. You can just put the order in and cancel it at any time, right? Well, what they're saying is that people, especially people that have are able to present a large value of money, right? Whales, they'll do this to manipulate the market, right? So maybe whoever this wallet was wanted to buy. They're looking and they're like, damn it, we should have bought in at 49,000 when it dropped the other day, or at 50 something thousand. how can we get those numbers back down there briefly? Well, they can put in an order of something like this where it's a sell order of 12,000 Bitcoin, scaring the market, right? Because they know crypto, nothing's hidden, right? You can, if you know what you're looking for, you can find it. And this was obviously all over everywhere where people were seeing that there was a sell order for 12,000 Bitcoin, which is a decent sized sell order, but it was basically placed under the price that we were at, anticipating that the price was going to go down to those numbers. What they're thinking is that they were probably spoofing. Pretty much what I'm saying is that they were just trying to scare the market to bring it down so they can get down to those levels and possibly buy in, not sell, but actually buy in at those areas, right? So that's what they call it, whale manipulation. It's crazy. I think this is technically illegal, if I'm not mistaken, in the stock market. I'd have to look into that, but I'm pretty sure it's illegal to do in the stock market. But with crypto, with us not having much regulation, people can do these kind of malicious kind of things, and unfortunately some people fall for it and they get scared and they'll sell off. People see this, are like, oh crap, let me sell off. A whale's about to sell at 61K and it's going to go down to 59, and it doesn't happen, right? So I'm not, and this is just this case, it's probably happened plenty of times. So the sell order could be pulled at any time. Remember what I just said. So popular trader Dan Crypto trades dismissed the disparity between bid and ask liquidity, noting that the sell order can be pulled at any time. Instead, the trader noted that the order book actively could provide some needed relief from recent volatility as a temporary cool off as the price consolidates. And it's funny is that's what we're seeing right now is a consolidation in Bitcoin after this big week that we've had. So notably, Cane Island Alternative Advisors founder Timothy Partisan cited 40,000 and 80,000 equally likely in the next 60 days. So you see that both of these people are this particular advisor is saying that there's like a 50-50 chance that Bitcoin's either going to be at, in the next 2 months, Bitcoin's either going to be at 40K or it's going to be at 80K is what they're saying. And this kind of goes back to my logic of how I'm trading right now, 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing, right? I'm not all the way in the market. I have good positions, right? So if we pump, hell yeah. If we dump, hell yeah, because then I can continue to add to my positions and bring my averages down. So that kind of that 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of position that I'm in right now, instead of me being all in or all out kind of thing. So Koktoshi in the house, bro. What's going on, bro? He said he's been working too much. It's all right, bro. Gina said our country better get on board with Bitcoin or we'll be left behind. I agree. Definitely agree. And they're basically giving out some charts in regards to let's see here. So if Bitcoin is able to perform another daily close above this August downtrend, which that's the downtrend I believe that we have right here, right? Because August is only 10 days old. If you look, let me move this out of the way. Damn, okay. Let me see what they're talking about here. So if Bitcoin is able to perform another daily close above this August downtrend, the red, when then the resist of it will, or the retest of it will be complete, and this could then proceed trend continuation to the upside. All right. And then you can see they have basically where we've topped out recently, right? They have where we recently topped out. This is our all-time high, actually. So they're zoomed out. This is back in July, the end of July, when we topped out. And then obviously where we bottomed out. So they're saying that, like, pretty much what they're saying is that it's 50-50 right now, in their opinion, right? That we're going to kind of either Bitcoin's about to moon or Bitcoin's about to possibly drop to the bottom. It's 40,000. My opinion, like I said, I'm kind of prepared for both scenarios. I still do believe that we're not technically out of the woods from everything that we've seen. recently, with all this. I think this was just a little eye opener for a lot of us. Just like someone said, the other day, it kind of scared the shit out of them. I think this is an eye opener that a lot of the economies are like literally on a thin line right now of possibly, breaking down, right? It could be easily averted, but we're at such this like tipping point for the US market, I think, for the Europe, for the Asian markets. We're at this tipping point right now where it's just like, it's like 50-50. It's like, are we going to be able to divert, some kind of a recession, or are we going to just fall into a recession? And, it's just one little straw can break the camel's back, right? That old saying. And that's what it is as far as the world, as a world economy right now. Not even pinpointing one country, it's the world economy. Because as much as you want to say it, we're all kind of so united in as far as the economies. And if one economy goes down, it's going to probably bring majority of the other economies down, depending on how big that economy is, right? If a small economy, goes down, it's not really going to do much. But if you have some of these big players, and all these big players is what I'm speaking of, that are kind of on the tipping scale right now. If one of these big players drop, you saw Japan, their economy, they're a small country, but they are such a big economy across the world. China, Europe, the States, you go into a lot of these countries, any of these countries at any point, they tip over towards the wrong side, could possibly bring us towards the downside, and the markets will react like we saw the other day, but it will be probably on the likes of what we haven't seen, in a while. So that's why, for myself, you see these analysts, same thing. I've been telling you guys that foot in, foot out kind of analogy, with me with the market. That's what I've been pretty much doing. So, kind of just planning for both scenarios as of right now. And then we go to a bullish article. So Bitcoin bulls revisit 100K year-end target as Bitcoin spikes over 62K. So let's see here. This was obviously from yesterday as well. So regardless of the next 60 days, the bull market will continue along a traditional 4-year cycle lines with solid gains in October and November, one trader said. It's crazy how you have one side and you have a whole other side, right? You have one trader that's looking at the charts like this. You have another trader that's looking, at it like the complete opposite, right? So Bitcoin surges over 62K briefly before retreating, following a broad market rally that reversed steep losses from earlier this week. Some analysts predict a $100,000 Bitcoin target for cryptocurrency later this year. The rally was influenced by favorable stock market sentiment and expectations of Bitcoin mirroring its past market cycles, with liquidated short positions contributing to the surge. So Bitcoin briefly spiked over 62K before retreating during the Asian morning hours on Friday as the broader market rallied to reverse a steep route from earlier in this week. The recovery has some Bitcoin bulls revisiting their $100,000 year-end target. U.S. markets rallied on Thursday, with the S&P 500 marking its best day since November 2022. And the tech-heavy NASDAQ 100 rising 3.1%. This helped reverse losses from Monday's rout, which saw major losses across stock indexes and cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin jumped 7% in the past 24 hours. That was a big move. One of its biggest single-day percentages gains in recent months. The move liquidated nearly $100 million in shorts or bearish bets. On Bitcoin-tracked futures, the $100 million liquidation was the fourth largest hit on Bitcoin's bearish bet this year. Some market watchers attributed this gains to favorable stock market sentiment and expectations to Bitcoin's mirroring in its past market cycles. And I quote, "Now that the Bank of Japan has indicated they will not raise interest rates," isn't that weird? "And jump trading will run out of coins to sell, just like Germany did a few weeks ago, I do not see a price going much below 50,000. Other than a quick wick, perhaps ever again," Transform Ventures founder Michael told CoinDesk in an email Friday. "Regardless of this next 60 days, the bull market will continue along traditional 4-year cycle lines with solid gains in October and November." So this analyst is still thinking that I'm not denying it. Like I said, 50-50. This analyst is basically saying that get ready, put your seatbelts on, because we could be seeing some big, massive gains coming up towards the end of this year, which is technically in the next 2 months, October and November. So, and historically speaking, if we are going to see some big gains, it's usually towards the end of the year. We topped out in 2021 in November. I don't necessarily think we're going to be topping out in November. If we do, and we see more all-time highs, and possibly that's the top of the market, so be it. But I still do believe that we're going to probably be pushing this bull run, probably into 2025. I'm seeing the bear market starting towards the end of 2025 is most likely, at least the second half towards the end of 2025 is what I'm anticipating. Things can change obviously, but that's what I'm anticipating, that Bitcoin, the market, we've gone through, more all-time highs for Bitcoin. We've seen altcoin season go through, DeFi seasons come through, and now we're into the 6th, 7th month around that area of 2025, and we've basically seen the top, and now we're starting to see us starting a downward trend is what I'm anticipating. So let's see here. If Trump wins, a rush of new buyers could take Bitcoin's price over 100K. Tarpon said, adding that the 6 months after the halving have had pullbacks, and this 5th Bitcoin cycle is no exception. October and November are historically strong months for Bitcoin, especially in the year of halving and the year after. I agree. Bitcoin's rise revived gains along the major tokens. Ether and Toncoin surged 10%. Solana and Cardano rose 5%, and XRP slightly dropped after a 17% surge on Thursday. And you guys remember with Solana, I told you guys to be very cautious, right? After we pumped like crazy, I told you guys to be very cautious with Solana, only because it was coming off of a major run with that announcement, obviously, that the case was completely over with. But I did tell you guys, just be cautious, because though I do believe Solana will do good long term, you can see how this has been playing out. Looking back, it's been kind of going on these spurts. This was when Solana initially won the case, right? It ran up, and you can see even after that, it found its way right back down to that 50-cent mark, right? And then kind of chopped sideways. People freaking got pissed because they were anticipating that Solana was going to $5, or some of these crazy numbers. And you can see we all along were finding that support at around that 49, almost 50-cent mark, briefly breaking below a few different times, recently breaking down to about 38 cents, which was honestly a good buy for XRP, because like I said, it likes to stay around that 49, 50-cent mark. So with that being said, we saw a nice spike, right? But if you see, this really wasn't that big of a spike, 17%, and you can see it's already retraced somewhat at around 59 cents. So long term, I think that XRP is going to do really well. I honestly do think that XRP is going to do really well. I just think that right now, given, the market's still kind of on this iffy kind of up and down kind of thing, XRP is going to be at the whim of the rest of the market right now, right? I mean, it was a good thing that they got the case finally finished. They can walk away. They put it behind them. It's over with, but now, you're going to be at the whim of the rest of the market, and it's going to move with the market unless something big comes as far as with XRP. Like I always tell you guys, I wouldn't be surprised one day you hear that XRP is like the currency of a freaking country or something, like something crazy, but I'm just speculating. But something like that would obviously drive XRP up to some of these numbers that people are expecting. But for now, like I said, if you're really itching to get XRP, I would have patience and wait for us to at least come back down and retest this 200-day moving average, which is somewhere around the 54 cents. Somewhere around there or below would probably be a good spot to start dollar cost averaging in and adding to your bag for XRP. So anything else? What else is really moving today? We have this little project right here that I did buy back in on. Do you guys remember this Suku project? This is an Asian coin. You guys remember I had bought in. I'd been holding on to this actually for a long time, like back in 2021, was sitting in the red, And when this thing spiked up to 30 cents, I ended up selling off. And then I bought back in, like back here. So, I mean, it's not doing too bad today. This market cap for this project is like insane. It's trading on Coinbase. The market cap is $14 million. Isn't that crazy? Such a small market cap. This thing back in the bull run in 2021 would go down to like $20 million, and then the next day it would run up to like $150 million. I mean, like within days, you know. So that's why I'm kind of loaded up when we're down where we're at right now, and just kind of just let it sit there, and eventually I keep an eye on it, because you have to watch it, because when this thing does spike, it's brief. It spikes and then it comes right back down. So another project you guys can look forward to, or look into, Suku, and I get it on Coinbase. So Tuan said, do you think ICP will drop a little more, Crip? Thinking of planning to buy more. You know, I've been watching it too. I didn't buy in. You guys know I bought Ordinals instead of ICP this time. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I will tell you, Tuan, honestly, where we're at right now is not a bad, not financial advice, but not a bad buy as far as price range. Where you're at right now, about $7.30. Obviously, you can see that it did drop down to about $6.26 briefly on that big drop the other day, which was a solid buy. But I mean, even where it's at right now, it hasn't, bounced like crazy. It's still in a good buy area, in my opinion. So you can see the bounce was only about 17% from that drop, so not a bad spot where it's at right now to honestly start dollar cost averaging in. But to answer your question, if you can have patience, do I anticipate possibly seeing lower prices? I would say, if I had to look at this and make that decision off the whim, given that it has not broke out of it's definitely on a downward trend, right? Definitely on a downward trend. You guys remember I bought in down here and I sold up here, right? And I haven't bought back in. You can see the trend is pointing towards the downside. So I would say possibly if you can have some patience, right? You have to understand too that if this starts shooting up, you missed out on it, right? I always kind of come to that agreement with myself too, with a lot of projects. It's like, if it comes down to a certain price, I'm going to buy in. If it doesn't, I miss out. It's okay. I keep it moving. There's plenty of other opportunities out there, right? I don't go chasing anything, right? That's how you get wrecked. So I think what you should decide is what's a good price point for you, right? I'm telling you from experience, I've traded at ICP since, when it came out. I bought and sold plenty of times. I will say that the price range that it's in right now is not a bad price range, right? It's not a bad price range. Can you get better? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. As we can see, this thing's already, recently has dropped down to $5.77, right? So definitely could get opportunity to buy in cheaper. So I think what you should figure out is, where is a good spot that you're comfortable with starting to dollar cost averaging in for this project. And anybody can do this for any project, right? Whatever projects that you guys are looking for, you can use the same analogy, right? I always preach patience. I always preach it because whether you're being patient waiting to buy in on a project, or you're having patience, you already bought in on a project and you're watching it run up, patience, right? Patience. Gina said, can you please check Toncoin? Yeah, I'll bring that up. And Tuan said, thank you, Crip, for the knowledge. I really appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate you, bro, more than you even know. Toncoin. Look at that price, Gina. 666. All right. Whew. Just went to $6.67. I was going to say, stay away from it. It's bad. Not today, devil. Oh, shit. It's back down to 666. Ton's looking bullish, bruh. It's looking bullish. It really is. Try to zoom out here. So you guys know I've been saying this for a while that, Ton's bullish. It's building up that ecosystem as far as DeFi and stuff like that, and they've been doing really well. The only thing that that kind of just blows my mind is the volume. Looks like the volume's up today. It's at it's only about 40 million. It's just crazy, as far as how low the volume is for this ecosystem when the market cap for TON is so freaking high. TON's a top 10 project, $16 billion market cap, and they're only pulling $40 million in volume for the day for their DeFi. I don't know. It's a little just not questionable, but I'm just they really need to step, encourage and try to get people to really start building on their ecosystem. I mean, that's the route that Solana went, and you can see Solana has absolutely ballooned since then, right? In the last year or two. So with that, volume needs to come up on TON, but is TON a good buy-in? I mean, I think TON's a solid project. You have to remember, Gina, right now, particularly where you're buying, you're going to be buying in on TON. If we zoom out, TON's technically up 400% right now. So I don't want that to discourage you from buying in, but I would possibly, in my opinion, not financial advice, if you're set on buying TON, maybe just wait for a better opportunity, right? Maybe wait to see if TON will drop down to like $5, $4, possibly. What did it drop down to on that drop? Yeah, see, the other day, that was a good buy right there, $4.75. It actually broke below its 200-day SMA moving average right here for the daily, right? So that was a solid little buy-in right there. Obviously, it's hindsight 2020. We're looking back at it. It's easy to, call out buys, after the fact, right? But what I'm saying is wait for some kind of moment like that. Even if it takes 6 months or whatever the case is, wait, in my opinion, right? I don't want you to come after me, though, when TON in a month from now is at like $17 or something like that. So it's kind of, it's the pleasures of being in the investments in crypto and stuff like that, right? It's like, do you wait? Do you buy right now? It's like, when's a good time to buy in? Me personally, like I always tell you, I use that analogy where I set a price, I try, if it can get closer to that price, I start buying. If it doesn't, and it's going the opposite way, meaning going up, I don't look at it as, oh man, and start chasing the project, because you're gonna get wrecked, right? I like, all right, it is what it is. I'm gonna move my interest to something else, right? And I find something else to look forward or to buy in on. So what's going on, old? Troy said NFK is on sale right now. NFK to the moon. We're gonna have to. Troy is our advertisement right there. That's our advertisement right there, my boy. You can be like, Troy, what's the weather like today? And he's like, NFK to the moon. All right, Troy, how you doing today? NFK to the moon. It's like, oh, that's his response. All right, Troy. Well, I guess I'll see you later. NFK to the moon. All right, bro. Watch us find out the whole time we've been talking to Troy, and Troy's a robot set to just say NFK to the moon. I wouldn't be surprised, Gina. I'd be like, damn, Cyberbot's got us again. But he's a good bot. Troy, what'd you eat for dinner today? NFK to the moon. Too funny, bro. It's almost time for me to go get a cold drink, guys. Whew. I'm itching. Oh, shit. Gina's doing those googly eyes to Troy now. Gina, you already scared off the last guy. Don't do this. You already broke the last guy's heart. We won't even name him. Gina starts googly eyes in you, bro. Oh, you're in it now. Gina was causing some drama in the chat. Old said, Crip, do you have time to talk about Cass? What do you want to talk about, bro? You want me to pull up the chart? We'll pull it up, bro. Caspa. What's Caspa doing? Caspa's, bro, what is going on? How does this thing just continue to keep this freaking... I swear we had this trend line for the last, like, months. And though it did drop, you know, when the market dropped, this thing came down and bounced at the 382 perfectly. Broke below the trend line, right? Broke below the trend line. And, I mean, this thing just went right back into where it was at. And I have to move this fib retracement, actually, because it broke all-time highs again. Caspa's freaking bullish. Ton, Caspa... Those are going to be on my watch list, I think, bro. What's Caspa's market cap looking like? 4 billion. So a solid. This is a solid market cap for sure. Definitely a solid market cap. So you already know, I mean, bro, looking at this chart, nothing bearish you can say about it. Looks great. Obviously, this was a good buy on this little giga drop right here at around 12 cents, 12.5. Bounced somewhere around the 382 and a level that we have as some support level. It broke right below our support level right here. So definitely looks great. Nice bounce, fast recovery, right? If you see that drop from where it was to where it's at right now, nice 32% recovery. 32% on a market cap that's over $4 billion. That's a big move right there. That's a big move telling you that people are not giving up their Caspa. I love how you can mine Caspa just like you can mine Bitcoin. Right, I think Caspa has a bright future ahead of it and solid project in my opinion. And you can see off of just looking at this chart how freaking bullish this is. I always tell you guys, one thing I regret with Caspa is that I had the opportunity to start mining Caspa when it dropped. When this thing dropped back in, like, what was it? I'm thinking 2021, but I guess it was 2022. I was about to start buying like a few miners for Caspa. Now, the miners are expensive. If you're buying the miners, I'm not talking about getting GPUs, and I'm talking about like all built-in miners, right? You can buy them. I forgot where they sell them. There's a really big site that sells miners for Caspa, Bitcoin. And what's cool about Caspa is these miners mine Caspa and Dogecoin at the same time. But they're like 5,000 for the like mid tier, and then you can get to like the bigger ones that are obviously using more energy, right? But they mine twice as fast. Those are like $10,000+ per miner, right? But I was thinking about doing this back then. If you were to open up and start mining back here, imagine you're mining Caspa, right? This thing was literally at a penny at around that time, literally under a penny, actually. And this thing is literally up. I've said literally like 5 times, but you can see this thing was under a penny, and now it's pricing at around 16.5 cents. Imagine mining Caspa for the last year and a half, 2 years, you know, and this thing has done nothing but freaking explode in price as well. That would have been a big, move right there. So I mean, I'm sure if I would have dropped 20 grand on the miners, I'm sure I would have been well in profit and got my ROI, return of investment, probably a while back. So definitely. I'm very impressed on how Caspa came out, and the chart that it still just shows you up even on these swings, holding a beautiful trend line towards the upside. So definitely, I mean, if you can't hear it, definitely very bullish on Caspa. A little jelly that I didn't open up or grab any miners. Or imagine, I always think about this too with helium. Imagine if I didn't even buy the miners, right? Imagine if I was going to spend $20,000 on miners. And I didn't buy the miners, but I bought in 20K, you know, at this time. Imagine how much people are up like crazy right now. I mean, that's a massive move right there. Let's actually map that out from right there to right here. You know, nothing too crazy. Just a 3,500% move. Nothing too crazy. Nothing that you'll get rich off of, right? You imagine throwing 20 grand and getting 3,500% back. I don't even know if I'd be right here, guys. Or maybe if I was streaming, it'd be streaming like this because I'd be on a boat. I'd be rocking on a yacht, you know, with my shirt off and a freaking, you know, the water behind me because I freaking made so much money off of Caspa, you know. You guys ever think about stuff like that, or is it just me? You know, I got you, bro. You said you got in around 14 cents. Nice. Definitely, bro. Yeah, I think that's a solid project, bro. That's like a big cap project that I would probably hold in my arsenal, you know, and I just see, you know, nice growth. Anytime you see these dips, since you're bullish on this, you know, these dips, since you're already in, you're good. You have time, right? You see these dips, just bring your average down, take advantage of those dips, right? And just hold long term. This would be like a long-term hodl project, I would say. But remember, whenever we get to the top of this market, we start getting close, and we're going to be right here, and I'm going to be telling you guys, you know, we're at all-time highs. You know, we could be signaling a top here. That's when even a project that I'm so bullish on like CASPA, you have to remember, don't let the greed take over. Take your profits, because what happens is when we get into a bear market, CASPA won't be saved from a bear market. It might not drop down as much as some of the other projects, but it will drop, right, during a bear market, whenever that comes, in a year from now, whatever the case is. And if you take advantage of us, or take advantage of taking profits when you're up like crazy, maybe you don't top the top of the market. But what I'm getting to is when we do get into bear market, you buy right back in CASPA at a fraction of the price. You can triple up using the same liquidity, or get your same position and take out all your profits, right? So something like that. It definitely looks good, bro. Definitely looks great. So Bitcoin's gonna hopefully hold this trend. You know, even if it breaks out of the trend, if it does, I think it's just gonna kind of go chop sideways. So we'll see how this plays out. Remember, guys, Wednesday, the 14th, we have CPI report coming out, right? I don't think it's going to be nothing too big, but we might have some volatility this week coming up to the CPI report. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we might see a little bit of volatility, you know, so just, you know, prepare yourself for that. We will stream that morning. It looks like CPI report is going to be coming out at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time in the morning. So we will stream probably that morning around 8 o'clock. So make sure you guys are up. You got your coffee. You know, you're up. You get all the crust out of your eyes, you know, and we're ready to rock and roll that morning. So, but other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I have a pool party to get to. I got some cold drinks to get to, right? Living that Florida life. I hope you guys do the same. Be safe out there. Have a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow we will have another stream. Tomorrow for sure going to be a members only stream. We'll see how everything's going. We'll probably have a traditional stream as well. So other than that, if you're interested, make sure you guys hit that member join button. It's only $5 to join. Come join the crowd. Other than that, guys, I thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Be safe out there. Keep your heads up. I think we're going to be perfectly fine, guys. I think we're going to make it. I really do. Thank you. Have a great